Hello and welcome to my outdoor Christmas DIY video. The first DIY is how to make a Dollar Tree DIY Christmas package. You will need square frames from the Dollar Tree, Deco Mesh of some sort. I used a larger Deco Mesh, not the one from the Dollar Tree, something from like this from Joann Fabrics, right now on sale for a little under $4. Light strips, and you will need zip ties. The first thing you will need to do is take the square frames, using your zip ties, and attach them together, forming a cube. Make sure that the curved side or the convex side is facing inward so that the Deco Mesh will lay flat along the frame on the outside of your present. Then you take your light string and, using your zip ties in a random fashion, you zip tie it to the inside of the frame of the package. When starting the light string, make sure to leave a foot or two of lights out so that you're able to plug the package in easily once you have your finished product. Lay your cube top down on the Deco Mesh to get your first layer of mesh going from side over the top and then back down the other side. The next layer will go around all four edges, completing the covered package. I use zip ties to tie the Deco Mesh to the package frame throughout. Ribbon can easily be applied to your package as well by stapling it on the bottom, wrapping it around the top in a crisscross fashion, and stapling it on the other side. You can then finish it off with tying a bow and attaching it to the top of the pipe cleaner. The next project will be to show you how to make fence posts to hold lights using PVC pipes. I use gold paint. You do want to make sure that the paint that you apply first has a primer to it so that it sticks to the plastic. That's why you see two different types of gold paint here. I used 10-foot 1-inch PVC pipes for this project. Cut them to about 3 foot a piece, a little over 3 feet a piece. Beveled the ends so they could easily be hammered into the ground, and they all also have a 1-inch cap on top. And here you can see I'm adding the gold glitter final coat paint, which just adds that extra little sparkle with the twinkle lights off of that, and even in daylight it looks really special. Because you're running lights across these, you do want to cut a little notch in the top of the PVC. You can see here this was done before painting, and then that gives an area for any decoration or the lights to run through, and it has to go beyond where your cap is, however. So once your cap is on, you have space for those items to be placed underneath of it. And if you cut that end on a beveled angle, they hammer into the ground really easily just with a rubber mallet. I wouldn't recommend doing it with anything much more aggressive than that, or you may break the pipe. Next we have a DIY Dollar Tree train. This you will need the square forms again, the 14-inch, some of the bicycle forms, as well as the circle forms, 8-inch. This is actually pretty straightforward, though it looks complicated. You take the square frames and you create cubes out of them, and you stack them into this L shape, and then you apply the bicycle wheels and the 2 small wheels to the side of the frames on both sides. After you have the wheels applied, then you can go ahead and start wrapping the lights. I did 1 strain around the frame, and I did 3 strains around the wheels. And then you can also see I wrapped lights around the roof of the train, which was just two of the square forms put together in a triangle. For the second car, I again make this box frame out of these square wreath forms. But on the bottom this time, I used two bicycle wheels so that I could place something in the car if I wanted to. And then I also used two of the large bicycle wheels on each side. The lights were wrapped in the same way, and you can see here the reason why I did 3 light strands on the wheels is because I attached a light show box, and when the lights are alternating, it has the indication of motion or movement. This light arch really adds a lot to our Christmas decor this year, so this is a nice project because it's relatively simple with few products, but it really has a high impact. I put this piece of rebar in the ground to place my PVC pipe so that I could have it up in the air to paint. Make sure again that your paint has primer in so that it sticks to your PVC pipe. The other supplies that you will need will be a piece of garland. I have this pre-lit piece of garland from Walmart from last year's season, and zip ties, as well as these Christmas bulbs that I got from At Home last season as well at 50% off. So after you attach your garland to the PVC pipe and have it all fluffed, you can then use the zip ties to also apply your Christmas bulbs. To hang your arch, you'll hammer in rebar on either side of your sidewalk and slide PVC pipe over the rebar. Once you have the arch to the height you want, go ahead and paint that to finish it out. The PVC pipe has connectors in between the pieces to attach them together. Just a small disclaimer here, be careful if you're hammering rebar into the ground that you're aware of where your lines are running in your yard. I then added a couple more strands of lights to give it that final look. And the last DIY are some tips on how to put together a DIY mega tree. You will need a thicker PVC for this project. This one is a 3/4 inch PVC. I have incandescent lights, and as well as I have a hula hoop here, although I did not end up using that. And I have a star that I have from last season from Lowe's. And here you'll see I have a PVC pipe cutter that I'm cutting to match the length of that star. The PVC can then be attached back to the top of your mega tree using a PVC coupling, but this allows the star to be removed from the top, and the star was attached ultimately with zip ties to that PVC pipe. Now directing attention back to the long piece of PVC pipe, I added these 1 1/8 inch drywall screws to the top of the PVC pipe fitting on a circular pattern. They worked out really well to anchor the lights across the top of your mega tree. Now when I started to do this, I did try the hula hoop method, but I felt like this made my tree look really narrow, and also I felt like it just didn't look as full. So I ended up using that hula hoop as a template instead to draw a large circle using a snow in a can so it would easily wash away. This way I had an anchor point for all my lights and they would be evenly dispersed. The piece that really made this mega tree stand out was using this light show box that I got from Jemmy. This thing is really awesome. It coordinates the lights flickering on my tree to any song that you link up to your Bluetooth. It's really amazing, but also it is pretty expensive. I bought this in the summer off of eBay and I got it for about $40, but if you wanted to try and buy it full price right now, I believe it's somewhere around $200+. So it's definitely something to look for after the season, after things go on sale, to maybe upgrade your mega tree for next year. Because each train is run individually, sometimes you'll have one that's a little bit longer and you can just fold that up over and hook it onto itself with the hook throw on the side of the lights. Ultimately, I did end up moving my light show box to under the porch just to protect it from the weather and the elements, using extension cords from the light strands instead of directly plugging into the box. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed and got some good inspiration for your own light show this season.